Might as well just jump right into it. Where are we going here? We're going into Eidolon. So Eidolon. Oh shit, I was going to have a link for this ready and I did not. Hot second here. I will talk while it's loading. So Eidolon, and the reason I'm grabbing a link is because I have played this before. I've streamed this before. You may have been here for the stream. But Eidolon does not cloud save. So the game I played last time was on a friend's computer, and the file that I am playing this time is on my computer. So I started playing this file first without streaming it, was at my friend's, played a fresh game there from the start and streamed that. And now I'm back to my original save file. And the thing is, in Eidolon, it is a survival lore game, I guess is one way of saying it. It's got kind of the vibe of Longest Night, except it's trying not even remotely as hard to kill you. So the majority of it is actually going around picking up maps and news articles and journal entries and letters and trying to piece together what, like, we know we're in the Pacific Northwest, so we're in the Washington state area as far as we can tell from the bits of information that we've collected. And it has been at least, probably significantly more, 150 years since multiple major disasters. It's probably closer to anywhere between 200 and 500, because we keep finding these bits of media from all sorts of different time periods alluding to different events that happened. And the reason I want to link to the first stream that I did with Eidolon is because I found different bits of lore. And I found some of the same pieces of lore in this run, but not all the same ones. So anybody who wants to see those bits of lore and kind of piece together more of the story, because I'm not going to get through a significant amount today, that's for sure. I want you to be able to see that. So I'm trying to find that video, and Twitch is being a Twitch. I know you are here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Here is that video. So if you want to see the first run of Eidolon and also kind of how the game introduces you to the area, which is not much. It just yeets you right in there and doesn't really give you much instruction. I do not know where I am now in this save geographically related to the other save. I have a rough idea, but there is no, you get hand-drawn maps and you get a compass. And there are landmarks, obviously, in the game itself. But knowing where you are in relation to the maps, which don't appear to be accurate either, because these maps are hand-drawn. Also, let me know if the game audio is too loud over me. But because the maps you find in this game are hand-drawn, I have come across indicators in my last run through that that imply that those maps are not accurate. They're definitely not accurate in terms of distance, but they're also not always accurate in terms of landmarks. So, and then I stumbled across this area, which you're seeing on the screen right now, which I did not run across in my previous playthrough. So I was following the bits of lore, because in this game, I will go through all these in a second here, but this is all the lore that I've collected so far in this run through. And if I hover them, you'll see here they get tags that show that are associated with what this entry is about. So this has to do with Ada and Old Town. This has to do with Eleanor, an earthquake and an exiled artist. This has to do with Old Town. This also has to do with Old Town. But the thing is, if you actually click on these tags, and it took me over 8 hours of gameplay to realize this, if you click on these tags, you get this little green sparkle that flies away. And it turns out that green sparkle flies away in the direction of where the next piece of lore associated with that tag is. So if I wanted to find the next bit of information on Old Town, I would be going in this direction. You can see it flies away pretty fast, so basically you just, if you ever want to check your direction, you just have to go back in and fire the tag off again. So that said, I have been, in this playthrough, I have been following the tags almost exclusively. In my previous playthrough, I was trying to navigate according to these two maps that we have picked up. And trying to figure out what these places were. And that was actually very difficult to do, and I found out that following the greeny floaties from the tags is actually a lot easier. So that's what this stream is going to be mostly involving. So right now, I'd actually played a little bit on my own behind the scenes, and then I came across this field of ghost spikes, crystals. Ilo Mage! Ilo, welcome! Welcome! I'm so glad to see you here. Welcome. We're playing Eidolon. This is a survival lore game, is what I'm calling it. So basically, you are in the Pacific Northwest. Multiple major apocalypses and major destructive events have happened, and you are piecing together what happened from the bits of lore that you can collect in the world while trying not to starve to death or freeze to death. Oh, and Casper's in here too. Dang, we're getting some good friends in here tonight. Actually, you know what? I was saving my shout-outs because I knew we were going to get cool people in here tonight. Yeah, survival mystery might be a good way of saying it. It's not very... I have not died yet, and I don't think it's very easy to die in this game. The closest I came to... oops, sorry, I spelled that wrong. The closest I've come to dying in this game was I hiked up a mountain, and it was like, you are extremely cold, maybe don't do that. And I hiked back down the mountain, and I didn't die. So, and I also haven't starved yet. We've been pretty good on food. So you can see here, this is our, the note pages are a collection of lore. These are the maps we've collected so far, which are hand-drawn and not necessarily accurate. These are our supplies. So we've got mushrooms, we've got tinder for making a fire. We have cooked fish. We have mushrooms that have gone bad, so we're going to throw those out. We have blackberries, honey. Honey and cooked meat last the longest, but mushrooms and berries are extremely easy to find because, again, we are in Washington. There are blackberries fucking everywhere. And then you can write your own notes here if you so desire, but it's in such a hard to read cursive that honestly I haven't been bothering. We also have this thing called a lux, and we have, from the bits of lore we've been picking up so far, there was, as far as we can tell, a major earthquake in the 2030s, I think. I'm trying to remember from my last playthrough. And a host. Holy crap. Thank you, Shop Flame. Welcome in. First time viewer, come on in. We're playing Eidolon. This is, it's turning into nighttime while I'm talking, but it's fine. We've got plenty of food. So we're in the state of Washington, the best of my abilities, my best of my knowledge. Yes, welcome. Yes, actually, I should. How was, what were you playing, actually, now that you're. I always forget to ask raiders that. I'm so used to being the one raiding. Ooh, Assassin's Creed Unity. Nice. I've been hearing good things about that. And I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I was explaining how you collect the lore in this game. And as far as we can piece together from my previous playthrough and this one, there was some kind of major earthquake in the 2030s, I think, that destroyed most of the major cities, at least in North America. And in the process, some kind of technology was discovered, possibly from an alien source, that allowed some resettlements and some sort of the leftovers of the major cities to get these things that they were calling just the light, or the pillars of lights. And anybody who was within a certain radius of these light sources did not get sick, did not age, did not die. And Rin is coming in. Oh my gosh, got a lot of good people in chat. And I'm excited because Eidolon is actually a really cool game. It's very, like, stylistically, it's very simple, but it's got very chill vibes. And if you're a kind of person who likes lore and video games, like, that's almost all that there is to this game. And piecing that together has been so cool. So, actually, we're going to go back here, and I'm just going to go through the lore that I found so far in this particular run through. I'm going to, here, I'll link again because the links kind of got buried. I played this earlier on a separate, fresh save. This is a different save than the last time I played, so the lore that I found has been different because I took a different path. I am the cat in the bottom right corner. That is my Bakaneko self. I had my friend Chrome design it. They do fantastic PNG avatar work, and their Ko-fi commission page is linked in my Twitch info. So if you're looking for one for yourself, they're very affordable, and they could use the money right now. They're trying to get married, so go hit them up if you want an avatar yourself. No? I am the cat in the bottom right corner. It is me. So let's take a look at the lore that I've collected so far. And I also mentioned earlier, if you hover the lore, you'll see here that there are tags indicating what that lore is associated with. And if you click on these tags, you get a shiny that actually will show you where the next piece of lore in that collection is located. So if I followed that shiny, it would take me to the next bit of lore related to Ada. Just no. Just say no. Say no to everything, kids. Just peace out. What's the skeleton meme? Just real winners quit. So none of this lore is in here in the order that I picked it up. So this is not in chronological order. This is not in any kind of like organization by tab. This is literally the order that I picked this. Aw, thank you. I like to think I'm at least as pretty as my cat self. But so let's go through this lore since it's raining and normally I would need to sleep, or my character would need to sleep anyway. So the first piece of lore I picked up was this. It says YL, which I'm assuming stands for Year of Our Lord, 182. 182 years since what? We don't know. It's been half a moon since we left our blood in the storm and shadow of night. We've avoided trackers and guards, and all possible dangers lie now ahead of us instead of behind, and so finally we come to stop for more than a few hours. We take this journey together for the whole of the old town, though they'll call us deserters. I, Ada Marquez, keep this diary as proof in the case of mine and my companions Joss Hoban's bodies being taken by the great dark wilds through some unnaturalness. These are hard to read, these handwriting. It's one of my main criticisms of this game. We come prepared for all things knowable, Joss a trained hunter and myself a learned apprentice of the bodied father himself, but the myths we track are many and we understand them only a little. These small ruins seem different up close, but haven't illuminated the stories we come to pursue, at least not on the short breaks we've taken so far. Joss fears them still, as hunters are like to, but that's why both of us needed come together. The hunter's fear makes the ruins safe shelters for us, so our passing through them was necessary, and any hope is that our time in these small places will prepare Joss to enter those great skeletal leviathans seen from afar on long winter hunts. Surely those beasts will hold our answers. We've cut north and east so far to avoid trackers, but now we head west to find the leviathans. Now, shortly after finding that piece, this map was located, and it turned out that as far as I could tell, the leviathans they were referring to are these markers here in a line along this lake. And when we got to that area, it turned out they were giant electrical wire supporters, the big giant outstretched arm looking ones that you'll find in a lot of the rural areas. So these are what were referred to as the Leviathan. And going by this map, I think that I am currently here-ish, around where I think these little sparkly things are supposed to indicate the spikies that we're currently standing in the middle of, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's my rough idea of where we are on this map. And this map is, like you can already see, there's some, so this says the old town. There was one city with ruins that I already passed through that was not, it had like a kind of lake or inlet to the north, so I think I passed that, and that we're currently somewhere around here on this map. It might actually be closer to here. These little lines of dots might actually be the electrical towers, but I haven't been able to confirm for sure. So continuing with our lore, next piece we found was this. This was dated October 18th, 2031. So this one had a year that you could actually relate to. It just says Eleanor Washington over and over again here. There's a drawing of somebody slumped against what looks like a dumpster. I was on the bus when the big one hit. It's a miracle that I'm alive. We were stopped in traffic at the base of a freeway off-ramp, and we were able to evacuate fairly early in the quake and head to a nearby park to be safer from the city seemingly just crumbling around us. A lot of chaos. Somehow got on a rescue boat and taken to some processing stations on the east side, then trucked to a refugee camp here in the middle of goddamn nowhere. It's horrible here. I'm sleeping on a mat in a tent, and they don't have enough blankets, so I've been sleeping with my coats and shoes on. Everyone in my tent has been really quiet, which is lucky because I don't exactly feel like talking. Some people around won't shut up, and last night some man was screaming a few tents away. I haven't really had time to process or even to figure out who's alive and who isn't. Josh texted me saying he was okay, but that was a while ago and I haven't heard from anyone else yet. Need to call Mom again. She keeps messaging me. Hey! First time chat from Shaz. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy Eidolon. It's not a very expensive game. I would strongly recommend anybody who's digging what they see here to give it a try. Here we go. Got a little shout out there. So our next piece of lore. Oh God, this one's really hard to read. Weekly sermon voters for February. I can't read that. 3 something YL, Year of Our Lord 189. What was that other? That was Year of Our Lord 182. Explain, I haven't been in this body long. Express our humility as example to follow. So these are like notes. Oh yeah, weekly sermon notes, not voters. Weekly sermon notes for February. Explain, I haven't been in this body long. Express own humility as example to follow. Oh wow, this is so hard to read. Denial of last something sacrifice for Ada and Joss. Used to discuss Fuller and Christ's great sacrifices. I don't know what that is before Christ's actually. Instill sense of humility in crowd. It's also not using standard English, which is making this more difficult. Talk through recent past to contextualize as hard time. Major loss of hunters, body of the father, many vigilant, and most importantly, all our family. Loss of food, loss of structure, and loss of faith. Struggle of survivors. Oh, we got a new follower too. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. I don't stream very often or very regularly, so following is actually probably the only way you're going to know I'm live. Struggle of survivors, those left behind. Delay, and another follower, thank you. Debate loss of foresters this week as a terrible tragedy and a test from God. Explain that they're more definitely dead or nearly so. Okay, those are D's. That they're more definitely dead or nearly so, that they've been drawn in by the devil, and that we can only pray for their souls. Use scripture to discuss ways to deal with hard times, to stay humble and peaceful. James, oh, that's what it is. Oh, okay, so earlier when it said use to discuss Judas and Christ's great sacrifice, I think is what that says, because that's a J. James 1:12, I think. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. Philippians 4:6. I went to a Catholic high school, but fuck me if I know my Bible readings. 4:6-8. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, but by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brother, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about those things. What kind of spells you can use in this? Well, apparently we can use certain kinds of technology when it is available, which is not a thing that the vast majority of civilizations here are. There's also these beings called Senin, who seem to be, I guess, this world's version of the X-Men with less superheroes and villains fighting. And we don't know yet if our character that we're playing is a Senin or not. There are implications that we might be, but the very fact that we are walking around without the light of the remaining cities that most people rely on to survive is not something that is common. And neither is the fact that we have this this Lux thing, which I'll get to in just a moment. Where was I? All right, next piece of lore. My name's Danica Hemberly, and I write this today, year of our Lord 218. So this is already like 20 years past the last ones we were looking at, as a remembrance of the old town and how it came to its final. I am now, it's possible, the only bodied soul in all of Eden, a truth not known since Adam's day. For these last near 30 years, since the so-called Great Pilgrimage, years since, not sins, since the so-called Great Pilgrimage, our numbers have fallen. Me being the youngest left, it's true I took it on me to provide a new generation, but it wasn't God's will, no. And me, I've stayed the youngest till now. I'm the last, and I don't plan to be the last for long. Yes, Old Town has lived long, but now it must fall and become another ruin, the last ruin. I write today that it not be forgotten. The trouble began with those Ada and Jocelyn, so we saw them earlier, who returned from the dark wilds, spreading terrible mischief and madness, that the ruins were not all dead, that they were not forsaken by the Father, that we went alone and most madly, that these others had fooled death and cured sickness. Such arrogance, you might think. Well, old myths and rumors are not easily put to rest. Me, I heard these stories and others less fanciful in my youth. When I was new, the other hunters told me tall tales of cities of light and cities of night, of animals that glowed pale under the moon, of wild men who sprung from the wet earth and lived their whole lives out there. But I was blessed, thank the Lord, with a father who cared for me, and when he heard me repeat such things, he quickly punished me and warned me of the dangers of falsehood. One mother who I'd been close to later told me of a time when in her new years she heard such tales too, long-lived childish myths. But there were always the occasional few young who'd hear such tales and run off with the sureness that they'd find them true. Ada and Joss were the first ever to come back, far as I've ever heard, and they claimed to have seen proof, to have met another out there who'd lived many lives. Hey, welcome, Prompto Max Photos. Thank you kindly. I would also love to ride a chocobo all day. Chocobo's just, well, actually, that's a good question. How comfortable is riding a chocobo? I'm hoping it's more comfortable than riding a horse. Did I spell that right? Promptomax Photos. Yeah, okay. Well, welcome in, welcome in. So this is Eidolon. We're paging through the lore that we have found so far, and piecing together what has happened up here in post-apocalyptic Washington. So we know that there is an old town which is very religious, and warned people against traveling outside the town and believing supposed falsehoods of cities that used to exist, and other people who have left the town and found proof of those cities that did previously exist, as well as letters and articles that are showing that those cities that existed were the ones that we are familiar with today in the current 2020s. That was good. Ada and Joss were the first to ever come back, far as I've ever heard, and they claim to have seen proof to have met an other who had lived many lives. Well, they were captured, yes, and punished, but it weren't enough, really. They told their tale, and there were many ready to hear it. Maybe it had been a hard year, too hard a year, and folks, especially young ones, they wanted to believe something foolish. Too many of them wise and respected were killed when the young hunters rose up to free the liars, to be led out to death in the dark night. So we read a letter earlier, or a diary, I suppose, more from Ada, who is described here. And so she and Joss left the old town to discover the truth themselves about what had happened in the past. And when they came back with what they found, apparently they were captured, and possibly tortured. And then there was a revolution within the town, with the younger members primarily freeing Ada and Joss and all of them escaping back into the wilderness, which is, whew. We held together some months after that, but it wasn't long till others were leaving in groups in the night, and the old town got sad and quiet, though the father got louder, surely. A year and some later, in year of our Lord 190, when the wise and respected had calmed, and the new young had fully and quietly organized themselves, that's when, after some public discussion and arguments, us trying to stop them and them trying to bring us, that's when we saw the pilgrimage. That's when the old town breathed its last true breath, since that's when the old town lost its last chance for a new generation. The rest of us, we stayed true and lived our lives out here. Mostly we were too old to hunt, but our numbers were so small, the smallest they'd been since the start, and our farms held out enough, paired with our stories, to keep us going as long as we have. Perhaps it's true, I think sometimes. Maybe there are others out there, other folks in other villages, but even so, I could never leave. I don't regret for one moment staying behind to tend to the old town, to preserve it. Best I could. Sure, I miss mine. All of us did, but that's aside now. It wasn't us who left, was it? So she said in 190 was when the pilgrimage had happened, which is 1 year after these sermon notes that we just looked at. Tell me you don't do. I should do. I've actually got a bit of a list. Oh, sorry. It says here we're hungry, so we got to eat something before we starve here. All of our blackberries are going bad. Yeah, how much money do you make from doing... Oh, I ate all of the honey. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, we're hungrier than I thought. Okay, I better speed up the lore. We're going to starve here while I'm reading. What else we got here? So here's another one with the 20... yeah, oh man, doing audiobooks. How much does that pay? Probably not much. Question mark, April 2071. I'm sick again. Thought it might happen, like when I weaned off Bellevue's glow. So there's a mention of that glow, the light that keeps people from getting sick. But this is bad, much worse than last time. Horrible, painful sores all over. So swollen I can hardly move to write this. I'm worried this might be the end. The elders have closed me up in my hut, away from the others. They've got a few doctors in town, but not enough to go round, and they know the doctors can't help me with this. The children that have asked, they tell them I'm cursed and not to go near me. It seems ridiculous. These kids know better. They've been here a couple of years at most. But Old Town works fast, trying to forget. Even just between themselves, the adults still don't mention anything from back home in the cities. Don't know whether I'll make it through this. I think I'm okay with it either way. It fucking hurts, though. I wish it didn't fucking hurt. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. So we know the earthquake happened in 2030. Was it 2031 we saw in this? 2031. Or at earliest, maybe 2030. So by 2071, this old town exists. The glow that I mentioned has been implemented in some cities. And Old Town has been established. By the time we get to Old Town being dispersed, they're using Year of Our Lord, and we don't know what they're counting from. 218 years from what? From the earthquake? We don't know. So, and these are tagged as Anders, so even though they're not signed yet. Oh, wait, this one's signed, that's why. 1st April, 2071. It took us a few days to get out here, going on foot like we did. They had a couple of pack mules for our stuff. At first, I thought they'd be hesitant to take me since I don't exactly have many survival skills, but they seemed real welcoming. Some of them knew my name from MH2, complimented me, said I'd inspired them. Probably I should be flattered, but really I'm just embarrassed. This place is wild. Real nice craftsmanship on most of the central buildings. Beautiful, well-built wooden structures. In the middle, a church house that looks like a renovated barn. Quaint. In a good way. That's where the father gives his sermons each Sunday, they told me. Sermons are mandatory here. Kind of weird to me, coming from Bellevue, but then it's a new culture and I don't want to disrespect. Nice to have a solid reason to wander through that beautiful town center anyways. Out in the borders where I'll be living, it's mostly huts and lean-tos made from corrugated plastic and metal, with floors of blankets and rugs on dirt. There were a few of these huts made up for us when we got here, and I realized I was lucky to have anything waiting for me at all. These people don't owe me a thing. They're just really nice people. That was before this part in April where he got sick, so it seems like his opinion changed. Beacons, sorry, those are the light emitters, so they were called beakers. And we don't know, MHZ, not MH2, so I don't know what MHZ is. Here's one from Year of Our Lord 183, so this is Ada's handwriting again. I'm sure the Leviathans are unnatural now, surer than ever. The angles are too square, the space too logical. Such great feats, though, these structures are. What folk must have been here once? Joss is sure they're unnatural too, but she thinks them the work of a devil. Even on long nights of arguing, when she does concede they may be made by folk like us, she adds that those folk must be gone for a reason. Then she gets quiet, and the next day her hunt goes long. I'm not sure the father would be on my side, so I'm glad Joss is here to keep me straight, but I feel what I feel, and I want to keep looking for something sure. And besides, without her, out here all alone, I'd surely lose both my mind and my body. Never have I been without my blood, and having only one other to love has been such despair and tribulation. Joss is stronger than I, and she keeps me from falling. It's near been 3 moons of us tracing through this great ruin, and I write now from afar, from a camp we set out to give Joss and myself a rest from the terrible weight of those skeletal shadows. I've drawn this place out to be sure we've missed nothing, and it's time for us to continue our search elsewhere. We've been resting, talking, and gathering supplies, but we're decided now. Tomorrow we head out, through the Leviathans, away from the old town, to see what we do not know. This is related to Old Town, but it seems to be just a snippet of an article. There's bits and pieces missing. Through the tales passed down something, and my grandfather before him, the America I pay homage to with my flag and in my heart isn't in Bellevue or Olympia. Wait for applause. Okay, so these are speech notes. The America I'm from doesn't trade its freedom for security. We live rich, meaningful lives. We live and die by our convictions. And my conviction, our conviction, was to start Old Town. To separate ourselves from all this garbage and start fresh. To start fresh by hearkening back to better times, with better values and better people. Ooh boy. Old Town believes in free trade. We don't tax or restrict, don't limit business. Never will your property rights be violated by the Old Town government. And we don't feel too kindly about malingerers and hangers-on. No, we certainly do not. But don't you worry. Everyone has a job in our town. Yes, that's right. I'm promising you all jobs, not like this ratty city that promises and gives you nothing. Old Town believes in freedom of religion. We're a stone-free settlement with none of that forced medication, judgment-fearing devil tech. Rather than a mayor who sticks his grubby hands in our personal business, we elect to be governed by a father, a spiritual leader, who leads us through congregation each Sunday. Freedom of one type of religion, that sounds like. Old Town believes in tradition. Never again will your poor wives be made to work long hours, and never again will you find yourself forced into the kitchen. Am I right, gents? Wait for laughs. Family is important. It's the glue that holds society together, that holds human dignity together. But more importantly than all that, because children are the future, are they not? Old Town believes in freeing our children from the burden of the devil tech. Worry not that promises of immortality will lead your little lambs astray. No such promises will be uttered in Old Town. We will live like the best of our elders and raise our children to do the same. So head east with us, I assume, towards the rising sun, towards that great, beautiful mountain that looks down on us all. We will start society anew, something while modernity festers, and we will live in the city of God. Wait for applause, thank, open for questions. Doesn't Old Town sound like a grand old place? Dear citizens of the United States of America, so this looks like a flyer, to the hordes massing at the gates of hell, we remind you that you are better than this. You are important and good. Do not belittle yourself with this grasping at immortality, this struggle that will leave you impoverished economically, spiritually, and emotionally. To the elders who lead your families here, we ask that you reconsider your decisions, your goals, and your priorities. We ask that you free your children and loved ones from their obligation to follow you and your ways. To the children who were brought here unknowing, we inform you that this desperation you see is not the true nature of the world. We inform you that you deserve better and that you can have it as soon as you can recognize it, that it is right in front of you. To our sympathizers, we invite you to come hear about Old Town, a place free from the squalor, at the rally at 7 p.m. on June 21st in the Book House something of 21st Street. Another piece from Anders. March 8th, 2071. So this is before he came to Old Town. New friends are talking up this place called Old Town. Whispers are going around in their circles, I guess. I'm curious. I'm pretty well convinced that I've weaned myself almost entirely off glow, and that I could actually maybe strike out like I used to think about, or used to dream about. Grow old, die. Well, got the dying part, not so much the growing old part. Year of our Lord 188, Ada again. What are we doing? What does this mean for the Old Town? 150 years since last communication. That means that this folk coexisted with ours some dozens of years, and near. How could we not know? I've stopped asking Joss these questions. They do no good but to raise a terror in us, and somehow silence seems to suit us better. We both know the questions will have to be raised soon, at home. What will they think? What will the father do? Will any believe us? I think I have not slept for a week. Year of our Lord 187, so before the last one. The Leviathans were structures erected by mere folk. Oh, okay, so a bit of context. This piece of lore I picked up in the middle of the ruins that were strewn across a part of the forest. It looked like just concrete and rebar, but with the low poly in this game, you couldn't really tell. And this piece of lore was sitting in the middle, along with a piece of lore for the Lux, which I'll get to in a second. The Leviathans were structures erected by mere folk. Is it to be believed? It seems impossible. But the man, whose name is Basil, tells an elaborate tale and brings for us colorful drawings of what was. Incredible detail. The drawings are from machines, he says, complex tools, innumerable people. And yet, of course there were. How many people might the Leviathans have housed? An unimaginable number, to be sure. Basil tells us he comes from a place spawned by these folk, but that 150 years ago they stopped communicating, that something must have happened, and he was sent, they were sent, to find the state of the world. There were many thousands of these places, he calls them cities, scattered across the world. They built the structures using tools made with tools made with tools. An enormous, complex folk whose history went back thousands of years. He tells of moving pictures and tools, machines that think and speak, and of great pillars which cast a light which cures death. Madness. It seems completely impossible. And if true, it makes the Father a liar. Something I feel somehow prepared to accept. Joss is quiet as ever, but I think she accepts it inside as well. Now, before I read this one, here's the piece I found in the Lux. So in the same spot, this showed up, and not in the paper, but in this digital thing, which hasn't been good for anything else so far. Looks like I'll be the sole survivor of the crash after all, though even alive, there's little good I can do with all the transmitters fried in the ship's fire. Very little fucking good out of this whole mess. I wonder if they'll send another ship in another 150 years to confirm the worst. Humanity on Earth is good as dead, and the savage creatures that survived don't remember it ever existing. Little shits, leaving good men to die. And die I will. My wounds are healed, yeah, but my rations are running low, and not a tech savvy can do to fix that, with no tech to speak of. Basil out. So the little shits he's referring to here are Ada and Joss, who discovered him in the crash, or the remains of the crash. And he says that because on the back of this note, she wrote, or maybe Joss wrote, this is different handwriting, Basil is dying, it's plain. We could wait for him to go, but it will be any day now, surely. Joss and I have talked while he sleeps, and will go in the morning, taking his drawings and any other such evidence. I can finally return, and my quest complete. They'll kill me, to be sure, but I'll plant the seeds of knowledge. Joss must know what will happen to us, but it seems not to matter to her. She must miss our home, our old home, so much. So they discovered what we're assuming is a spaceship crash. Basil was the only survivor, but he was severely injured. So they rescued him, treated his wounds as much as they could. He told them of the history of the planet as he knew it, provided images, maybe showed them videos. But they came to the conclusion that he wasn't going to survive. So they took that evidence and left while he was sleeping. And Basil left an entry in his digital tech, kind of cursing them for that. So that was Year of Our Lord 187, according to Ada. And this is the same year. We don't know if it's before or after. Oh, no, sorry, this is before. So you can see in a second here. Some nights ago, in the midst of a great snowstorm, Joss and I were awakened by a roar, a smash, and a great blaze of light. All this in our silent winter world where the loudest sounds are the creaks of branches and the hoots of owls. Standing, sleep-struck, outside our home, we watched a billowing smoke. With the snowfall, we needn't have feared a fire, but such a wild act of nature I needed to witness. Joss must be bored these days, no protest from her. A tremendous, unnatural structure, not unlike what we've seen, with many dead and dying in the fire. Only one that we could save. Ascend from the sky. From heaven, Joss thought. I'm beyond such thoughts, but it was something which demanded explanation, nevertheless. We carried the survivor murmuring and screaming back to our home and nursed him, patched his wounds, splinted his breaks, and fed him meat and honey and tea. He spoke in a strange cadence, with strange words and a smooth manner of speech. He wanted to know where he was. He asked if he would understand many answers, and this moment I gleaned that he was someone who knew much, from whom we could learn much. It's quite terrifying. So that was when they first found Basil, and then they learned from him what they could and abandoned him. This is even earlier, Year of Our Lord 184. It's been more than a year since our last writing. Our mission is put to sleep now, but sometimes I think on what we've seen. I was myself the most highly regarded of the apprentices at one time, though, as many know, the one best loved by the Father is often least loved by peers. I was enraptured with the love of learning the Father's works, reading, writing, discussing. Often I tried to stoke academic conversation among apprentices that proved to be sick of such things. Curiosity is not much loved there, I learned again and again. When I began to become curious about the world outside of the old town, driven on by late talks with my Jocelyn, opinions about me dropped quickly, and the Father's gaze seemed to darken by the day. Once, in a private lesson, I asked the Father directly about the Leviathans, and was smote, nay, struck on the face. I'll say it plainly. None among the learned spoke to me for a week, and not much after that, to be true. Joss, it seems, has always been my only friend. It was then that we began to make our plans. In the clarity of hindsight, Joss was not the most desperate to leave, I don't think. But now we've returned to our rest and been at peace for some time. I know Joss misses our home sometimes, though she doesn't say as much. I see it in flashes of quickly subsiding bitterness and anger, directed at nothing really. Sometimes me, but just as often herself. Regardless, we're happy here in our makeshift home, I think. I've taken to carving and hunting a bit. Joss has been teaching me to be more useful, especially, Father forbid, in the case she falls ill. Oh, sorry, we're getting hungry. And also our food is going bad. We're almost done. We're almost done our lore catch-up. Let's have some fish. Let's have some blackberries. Not hungry enough. Good. This one is tagged Wild Girl, Beacons, and Tria, which we haven't seen before. We arrived. Oh, this was in a small cottage that I came across just before coming to this area. And that cottage may have been the home that Ada and Joss built for themselves, but I'm not sure. I just know it was an abandoned cottage in the middle of nowhere. We arrived in Washington today. It isn't much different from Oregon, though I guess it's a little grayer. There isn't much to see this far south. We did pass through New Garden. That's what Eldon called it anyway. It's not on any of the maps, so I'm not actually certain what they called it before. Which was beautiful and strange. Eldon didn't want to stay, though. He's anxious to get up to Olympia, where there is security, whatever that means. I don't really think there is such a thing as security out here, though if anyone is prepared for this place, it's us. After all, that's why they sent us. He only decided to stop here because it's a cabin, so it must be safe. I'd like to remind him that it is an abandoned cabin in the middle of an unfamiliar area, but I'd rather not get into it with him. It's nice, anyway. Whoever built it can't be too long gone, or it would be overgrown. Still, I doubt they are coming back. So that, time-wise, this probably places this shortly after Ada and Joss discovered Basil and then decided to return to Old Town. So this is 187, 188, maybe. We saw someone in the woods today, a girl. She looked quite wild, hair matted and locked, clothes, if you can call them that, made of hide and fur. In all our weeks of traveling, we've never encountered anyone quite like her. I think she is what Eldon pictured the survivors to be like before we set out. Excuse me. He seems to have this fear that everyone on the outside is savage and uncivilized. They're simpler, certainly, but I don't think they mean us any harm. Even still, he won't get close to any settlements. Needed some water there. He won't get close to any settlements, and he forbade me from approaching the girl. It's a shame. We are living records of our history, and we could learn so much from her. I ought to start writing all of that stuff down. We have been alive since before the beacons were even erected. We saw it all happen. I'm actually very excited to be so close to where so much of our history was decided. Maybe there will be more to gain from this expedition than we thought. I hope so. Well, time to sleep. Eldon insists that we push on as far as possible tomorrow. He wants to be out of here as soon as possible and makes no attempt to hide it. It makes me wonder why he agreed to come at all. And then this is the most recent piece of lore that I found in this area that we're in right now, which is full of these ghostly spikes, which you can walk right through, and I've never encountered before. And also, giant fucking skulls. That's a lot bigger than a bear. I don't know what that's supposed to be from. Year of our Lord 183. This place is as strange as it is terrible, I'm sure now. It's rife with devilish life and tremendous natural skeletons. It makes one wonder what separates this life from the Leviathans. Perhaps those were not life at all, but the remains of some great unnatural structures or growths. Could the creator of deer and pines and vines be the same as the creator of the rigid, squared Leviathans? Joss hated this place on sight, but I dragged her in deep. What a fool I was. She'd been gone some days when I was set upon by a great beast, mauled and left for dead. I woke to her voice. So blessed I am to have her, to have had her return. She took from the healing honey of the trees, and with it mended my wounds. As I slept and healed and looked about me and waited, slowly the true darkness of this place set into me, and I grew bitter. These strange crystals which glow at night I first found beautiful, but now they keep me awake, shivering. Joss is calm finally, and with me, and willing, scared, I think, by the sudden visage of my mortality, but I am tired and want nothing more than familiar calm. To our west is the sea. So this will help orient us, because this is where we are now. To our west is the sea, to our south a great river, our east more unnaturalness. We head north now towards the mountainous wilds and peace. We need rest. So, to the west, so this actually, we might be here. These might be the crystals. She said a river to our south. So this is presumably a river leading to a lake, and then the old town is out here to the west. That would be my guess. And that would put the cabin where they were somewhere out here. And if this is the ocean on this map, it says Bellevue to the north. These lakes do not line up with the waters listed, like they don't seem to be outlined on this map. And I forgot to mention these lines here. I found a place that correlated with that with an old abandoned highway. So those lines were an old highway, which might be, well, no, it can't be this road, because then, well, maybe this, if these lines here are the road and this is also the road, then the water here can't be the ocean. It's got to be a lake because it's not close enough. It's very hard to orient yourself in this game. So that's the lore catch-up. The tools we have so far, we have a bow and arrow. So if you come across a deer or something that you can shoot for meat, you can use it for that. We have our compass. So finding that was very helpful in terms of, I've been heading south so far, following the old town entries. There is a fishing rod. If you're near water, so you can catch fish. And we have binoculars to see things at a distance, but like you can just run up to things. It hasn't really been useful so far. And I think that was everything that we found so far. The Lux has other features, but none of them are active. See, this one says, warning, due to your distance from a beacon, your vitals are subject to extreme changes, including death. This does say, like, if I'm hungry, that will show up here, or if I'm cold, that will show up here. Rested, you move faster after sleeping, this will fade with time. Estimated time remaining, ? Days. So that's all we've got from the Lux so far. We have probably had more food go rotten. Yeah, every now and then in the background you'll hear a sound like crumpling paper. That means some of the food that you're carrying has gone bad. So with all that said, we could continue to try to find Old Town. Actually, maybe this lake is... No, trying to align these two maps is a pain in the ass. So I've been following the Old Town entries so far. We could also specifically look for entries by Ada, or we could get informations on Tria, who wrote this one apparently, or the beacons. So if any, I was going to continue searching for Old Town entries, but if there's any other bits of lore here that, like if you guys want to find out what MHZ is, or more information from Anders, or Eleanor, who seemed to have been around when the earthquake happened, we can look for those bits of lore instead, if anybody wants to go after those specific bits of lore. So I'm going to take a brief water break here because my throat is like, too much talking. And if anyone has a suggestion, I'll follow that. And if not, I'll default to continuing the Old Town lore. Ooh, no suggestions. Old Town it is. So, where's our shiny? Going that way, and we're going to want to try it out. We're not near the water, so we can't fish. And let's toggle on our running. So which direction are we going? We're going east, it looks like. So now if we're following this, I think this map is more accurate, and if we are here heading east, we might actually be going to actual Old Town, or what remains of its settlements. So we'll see how far we get. And I'm going to keep an eye out for berry bushes because... Ooh, what's this? Hang on. I was going to say I'm going to keep an eye out for berry bushes because we need food, but oh, this might be another city ruin. Last time we came across high walls with a bunch of skulls in the ground. It was a ruined city, possibly Bellevue, but we couldn't really tell for sure. Oh. So you can see there's a little shiny hexagon there. That is a piece of lore. If it is green, it is typically a piece of lore. If it is white, it is a tool. So you can use the tags to follow the next bit of lore for that specific topic. Oh, and there's one over here too, but they're not in any kind of order, so you can also just sort of find them by walking around like this. So what's this one? Oh, this is completely new. Lumen and Mission. 14. I think Peony was beginning to think she had made a terrible mistake by the time we reached the place called Mission Biotech. The world, we found, was not so hospitable outside of First Landing, and every bit as unpopulated as Dame Maya had said it would be. We didn't encounter a soul until we reached the hollowed-out crust of the Mission Biotech complex. In all my life, I had never seen anything like it. I had never heard of anything like it, never read about it in First Landing's extensive library or databanks. Crystals grew from the ground like plants, and the wildlife was out of a fantasy novel. Oh, God, I hope nothing's going to show up to eat us. And there was a man living there. He was old, older than me. His name was Hugh Brugger. Brigger? Hugh Brigger, and he said he had been living there alone for 2 years. He also said we could stay. Gamma Lumen, I'm tired of walking. I know, baby girl, but I don't think we have to anymore. Not for a while. Oh, Gamma Lumen. So maybe Gamma Lumen is the name of the person. Gamma is a title maybe, and Lumen is the person writing this. Hugh told me that he was a researcher from Southern Oregon and that he was tasked with recovering the usable data from Mission Biotech so that his town could genetically modify the crops they grew. He had to explain to me what genetically modify meant. Then he had to explain to me that Mission Biotech used to make billions of dollars creating and selling genetically modified plants and animals. He said he was surprised to see anyone in Washington. I thought it was all but abandoned after the fall. Almost everyone who survived just left, said it was cursed or something. Maybe it is cursed, even after all those years. I did look into the data logs that Hugh had collected. Only a few remained. Most were damaged beyond recovery by years of disuse. What I did find indicated that Mission Biotech had been shut down after years of lawsuits lobbed against them, finally reached a climax when a competitor sued for something called patent infringement. The lawsuit was never resolved, but the fall happened shortly after, and everything Mission Biotech had created was set loose on the world. Yes, I think cursed is as good a word as any. Alright, so it's getting dark. We're getting tired. Hang on, where was that shiny I saw a hot second ago? Shoot, now I'm all turned around. Find that real quick and then sleep. So far, whatever made those giant skeletons, okay, there it is, has not come to eat us. So I'm going to take that as a good sign so far. So these crystals might be the result of some kind of attempt to genetically modify a crop. But then, are they actually crystals? Yeah, they are certainly glowing a little bit. Oh, here's another Lux entry. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Shotflame. Feel free to drop by again sometime, and I'll check out your channel as well. Thanks again. Have a good night. Rest up. Take care of yourself. Subject Amira, 4. It's only been about a week, but Amira has finally reached maturity. Nearly overnight, her mental capacities caught up with her physical attributes. She's ready. We called the family and let them know that they could come pick her up. They are driving all the way down from Bellevue tomorrow. This must be what giving up a child for adoption feels like, letting go of them forever. I could track Amira down to the city, down to the exact address and apartment number. But I'd be fired, shamed out of any work again, probably arrested. I think when I wake up a few days from now and her room is empty, I'll call my kids. Nate's gone off to Europe to travel, see the beacons in the countryside. That is the first mention of anywhere outside of America, especially that they have beacons. Tessa, she's off in Montana studying photojournalism, trying to figure out if she's moving to a real city when she gets back. Yeah, I'll have to see how they're doing now. Interesting. So this is tagged with Amira and Mission. Alright, so it's nighttime, so we're going to take a rest anyway, because we're here. Put in thy chance, said he, no more the puzzling hour, nor day, nor segments, parts, put in. Put first before the rest as light for all, an entrance song of all, that of Eidolons. And Eidolons are a Greek concept of something that is a ghost or a form of something that exists. So it can be like a literal ghost or like a shade of something, which is very appropriate for sort of the kinds of stuff that we're finding in this game. All right, we are definitely going to need to pick up some food soon because, whoo boy. Also, as is appropriate for the Pacific Northwest, it is constantly raining in this game, but luckily that is not typically too much of a problem. If you have to swim across a body of water, that will chill you, and that is dangerous. But apparently just walking around in the rain doesn't cause any issues, so there is that. All right, where are we going here? We're going this way. We are going east. And we're just going to book it, and I'm going to hope we run across some berry bushes, because, oh boy, do we need them. So this is some other kind of ruins. It doesn't seem like a proper city. This looks like just one building, but... Oh, shoot. Did I get turned around? It's very easy to get turned around. There we go. Yeah, no, almost directly east. Okay, that's good to know. Follow the shinies, follow the compass. And it's because, like, this part where you're just hiking through the Pacific Northwest with nothing but wilderness around you, like there's the fog and the rain and the animals and the bird calls, and it's very chill. I actually find it very relaxing to play this game most of the time, and then you pick up a piece of lore and you're like, oh shit, some shit went down. Like, as far as we can tell, like when Ada and Joss returned to Old Town, they were in a pretty terrible situation. And even after they escaped with the others, like, we haven't found any information on what happened to them after that. Oh, here's some wreckage. So every now and then we'll see giant structures like this that indicated that a city was here. Oh, hang on, bushes. Please have berries, please have berries. Oh, I don't think they're the berry kind of bushes. Shoot. Everywhere else so far I haven't had any trouble finding food, and then the further south I have been going, the more difficult it's gotten. Nope. Okay. If you're near a body of water, you're always good because there is always fish. Oh, wait, speaking of a body of water. Okay, hang on. We want to be going east again. Okay, so we are coming across a river, which is making me think that this map is correct. This is where the crystals are, and this is the river that we are crossing and that we are heading in the direction of Old Town. I think this is Old Town on the map, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to rely on the map that is not Ada's. This is Ada's map. The other map, I'm not sure where it came from, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Give me fish, give me fish. Pog flame. Alright, so we're going to fish. Fishing is thankfully not a mini game in this. It's literally just throw your line into the water and click when a fish comes up. The music's very chill too. I like that the game chooses to just let the sound carry the game most of the time. But every now and then, like in a quiet moment like this, you'll get this nice chill background music. Let's catch 4 or 5 fish. I think would be a good idea to be safe. So that's 2. Two fish. 2 freshly caught fish on the wall. 2 freshly caught fish. Take one down. Oh. 3 freshly caught fish on the wall. And we'll have to, I think we're going to have to ford the river. So since we need a fire to dry off and to cook the fish, we will ford the river and then cook the fish, rather than doing it the other way around. How many was that? 3? I'm losing count already. There we go. 4. Let's get 1 more fish. I can't open my inventory to check because it'll put the fishing rod away. Doot, 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 doot. There we go. Okay. So we have 5 uncooked fish. Perfect. So we're going to ford the river here. So cold. Yes, it is very cold. Let's run up the hill. Oh, good. We didn't even... So if I had gotten properly chilled in the river from fording it, down where the eye icon is in the bottom left, there would be a picture of a snowflake. I'm going to have to be careful of the tinder, too, because I haven't seen any in ages. So fish, we're going to cook it. Cook our fish. All right, this should at least get us to Old Town. And they mentioned farms being around there, so if the remains of those farms are still in place, hopefully we'll be able to find food there. All right, so we're going to smother the fire and we're going to check our compass. That is not east. This is east. I'm going to double check the Old Town. Yes, this direction. All right, onwards. And there's still more crystals out here. I don't like that. This has been one of the first areas where there have been no berry bushes whatsoever and no tinder. And I'm wondering if it's related to these crystals. Like if they've... Like there's still trees and there's still some bushes without fruit, but something about them might have destroyed most of the edible plant life in the area. The hell is this? Some parts of the... Huh. Maybe that wasn't a building. Maybe that was the remains of another ship. Because, like, that's... Or maybe that's part of a highway. It's really hard to tell with the low poly what a lot of the ruins are. You can just kind of guess. Shoot, wait. This way. So let's get to our next piece of lore, and then I think... Holy shit, it's purple! Holy shit, it's an ink slime! Hey, we're trying not to starve in the Pacific Northwest after an apocalypse happened at least 150 years ago, possibly more. You missed the massive lore dump that we went through. We are currently following pieces of lore on a place called Old Town, which we know no longer exists, but we might be able to find more information about what happened there. We just cooked some fish, so we're kind of okay for food for a while, but normally I would be finding blackberry bushes and tinder, and there isn't any here, possibly related to these giant cursed crystals. It's a bit of a mystery game. I mean, you're picking up pieces of lore out of order and trying to piece together what happened. There's no like reward or things you get for that aside from the satisfaction of knowing what happened. Oh, I think that's our shiny. So every time you'll come across these bits, if they're green, they're a piece of lore. If they are white, they are tools. So right now our tools are binoculars, a fishing rod, a compass, and a bow and arrow. I do not know if there are more tools than that. Here we go. Another one from Ada. Year of our Lord 183. So this is way before all of the shit that happened in 187 and 190. So we know at 187 is when she and Joss went back to Old Town with their findings, and by 190 Old Town had the exodus of all of its, like most of its remaining members, and then by early year of our Lord 200-ish, the town was done. A moon has passed, and finally I feel ready to take note once more. A finding not new, but a feeling that demands record. At the Leviathans was a strange feature, seemingly not of much note, long veins of coarse, unnatural stone firing off in various directions. I think that would be a major highway. With nothing else to guide us, we followed one, walking not on it, but alongside. Joss said she'd seen such things before, that they are known to be tendrils, shoots springing from the dark places, and we occasionally crossed but never followed on hunts. Were occasionally crossed but never followed on hunts. It seems now a lifetime since Joss and me have spoken except on such staid, practical matters, and even then things feel cold, quiet. Maybe the shadow of the Leviathan has been cast on us, and we are lost. Perhaps Joss was just in her hesitation, but it is now too late, and I still do not regret, though if our friendship is dead, I mourn it. But what the Father couldn't tell me, I'll learn myself, for the better of us all. And we have learned something. We chose a tendril and followed it south, and it led, nearly unbroken, to yet another heap of Leviathans. And from this one, again more tendrils, one that apparently used to cross the vast river to our south, but has crumbled and fallen in. It is maddening, but I can't help but imagine each tendril leading to more Leviathans, duplicating off into wild, mind-numbing multiplicity. These Leviathans seem older, smaller, further decayed. There is little more to be learned here, I'm sure. We head west once more after some rest, along another tendril, to confirm my theory. Myself, I'm not qualified to make suspicions on such things, but I theorize these Leviathans were an early project of the Father, and one which failed to prosper. Perhaps they were born corrupt and lost, or perhaps the devil took them. But such a grand project they must have been before their demise. It truly is beautiful and awesome to see their many shapes. So we're kind of following Ada's and Joss's path backwards, since they left Old Town and headed south, west, and then north, and we started out here. I think we started the game over here somewhere, maybe. No, we started near the mountain, so I think I actually wound up going here somehow, and then crossing over this way, and now I think we're going this direction. So we're finding sort of Ada and Joss's entries in reverse because we're following their path in reverse. Oh, it's over this way now. Jesus Christ. I know I said one more piece of lore, but I kind of want to find like Old Town's ruins itself. It's interesting, Inkslime, because like paper maps, I agree, they are great, but I don't think these maps are accurate. They definitely aren't accurate distance-wise. So you've got the added thing of like unreliable narrator where you're like, does this river actually exist? Or there's actually more than one river here and they only drew one. So where am I actually in regards to this map? It's really interesting. We still go in the right direction. We are. It is. God, there's no food out here. I don't like that. There's no berry bushes. There's no animals. At least I know we're close to a river, so we can go back and catch fish if we really need to. Yeah. Watch out, Ilero. You're going to find him outside your window at night. Hiding under your bed. Not doing anything, just creeping. It's making us go back the way we came. The problem with following the lore is, so like, if you decide to just follow the maps, then if you find an important area, you tend to just find like a whole bunch of lore crystals all in one place. But if you're following them like this, one at a time, it's very easy to get disoriented because it kind of leads you all over the map. Are those blackberry bushes? No, they're not. Fuck. Blackberry bushes are squatter. Can't wait to get out of this place. I can't even get... There's no tinder even. Which means I'm going to have to be really careful with my fires. We do have a compass. Here we go. We are currently going north... I keep forgetting how compasses work. Northwest. It took me forever just to figure out if the first map was drawn compass. Actually, no, sorry, not the first map. The first map has a compass rose. This one I wasn't sure at first if it was north. I had to look at an actual physical map of Washington and line this up. And as far as I can tell, like Seattle is up over this way somewhere. So this does kind of line up with Bellevue. And I just turned... Okay, we're going this way. But you can also follow the lore tags. So if you click on, like if we want to find more pieces about Ada, okay, that's in the same direction as Old Town. But like if we wanted to find more about the beacons, that would probably, yeah. So that the beacon lore is in a different direction. Yes, this is Washington. At least a giant earthquake happened in 2031, and it has been at least 150 years since then, possibly closer to double that. We're piecing together what happened. I did a previous playthrough of this game on a different save file because I was on a different computer. So actually, is that still in my... Yes, it is. So you can check that one out too, because I took a different path on that first run through and found very different lore than what I've got in this current one. So in that one, we found more information about the beacons, which were light sources that were established in major cities after the earthquake. And these beacons emitted a glow that would prevent disease, aging, and death. And apparently also mutant humans started emerging who had super strength and could subsist on less food and could also survive outside of the glow of the beacons when regular humans could not, because we'd be grown so dependent on them. Oh gosh, I really love the way this is rendered too. Look at that. Dang. Anyway, we are getting tired, so we're going to sleep for the night. Sleep, I said. All space, all time, the stars, the terrible perturbations of the suns, swelling, collapsing, ending, serving their longer, shorter use, filled with eidolons only. Feeling pretty hungry. The weather has been extremely accurate for the Pacific Northwest. It's raining and foggy constantly. All right. Yeah, there's no mushrooms out here. There's like nothing out here. Perturbation. I'll say it all I want. Perturbation, perturbation, perturbation. I am perturbed. So, when we're well rested, that's what the little green eye in the bottom left corner means. And you can see we're running a little faster now. The more when that disappears, it means you're tired and you go slower. You can also get hungry when you'll see a little stomach there. And if you get cold, you will get snowflake. It seems to be coming from this other device we have called the Lux. But it's disconnected. See, and it mentions there's the beacon again. Due to your distance from a beacon, your vitals are subject to extreme changes, including death. So hunger and cold will show up here. I still don't know what these other three statuses are for. Music for this game is also well done. Sometimes it's just quiet and just lets the sound effects of the area carry it, and then other times you just get little jams like this. Oh, it's already been live for an hour. Okay, definitely after the next bit of lore, I do want to play some Road Not Taken, so we're going to switch to that after we find our next lore bit. Wait. You're something I can hunt. What are you? What are you? Shit. Is that a bear? Fuck. I'm too far away. I have not been attacked by anything in this game. I don't know if a bear can maul me. Also, the way the animals move in this game is hilarious. Look at that. Hind legs just straight up. Shit! 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 Taking a serious wound. That's never happened before! I guess that's what one of the statuses are for. I've got a blood drop. All space, all time, the stars of... Oh, that's the same one again. Took a serious wound. Feeling pretty hungry. Okay. Don't try to kill... I thought I could attack it with the bow and arrow. Apparently not. Wounded. Find something antibacterial and apply to affected area. Wounds have a chance of becoming festered. Festering wounds have a chance... I had honey and I ate it. I shouldn't have eaten the honey. I could have put on the wound. Son of a bitch. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Okay, I need honey, but I don't know where to get any. At least there's tinder. I don't even know where I am. Where's my compass? Am I in the same place? I think I'm in the same place. Okay, at least there's tinder here. I need honey, but I don't know where to get it. I don't even know where I am. Holy shit. Me. Yeah, this game is easy. Nothing's tried to kill me so far. Immediately gets mauled by a fucking bear. Mushroom. Okay, we're getting food again. That's good. I need to find out where I am, and I need some honey to put on this wound, but I don't know where to find honey. Because I don't remember where I found it the first time I did this fucking playthrough. Oh my god. This is rough. Okay, we're in the mountains. Which, on the one hand, give us a vantage point. On the other hand, if I get too high, we're also going to suffer from cold on top of being wounded. God, this is a bad combo. Okay, hang on. We've got maps, at least. So mountains were probably over here. Maybe I should keep... Wait, are we on the south side of the mountains? That's going to cause problems. I could keep following the lore bit. I'm so glad there's food out here at the very least. But I am worried that wound is going to fester now. Shit, son of a bitch. Me thinking I could hunt a bear for meat. Haha, hubris. It took zero. Like, I hit it that last time. I was shooting it point blank in the face, and it just did not care. Which is incorrect. As someone who does archery as a hobby, a bear would recoil at least a little from a full recurve bow shot to the face, at least. Like, it's not many animals like getting an... Ooh, is that a fox? I don't think I can... Not many animals like getting an arrow in the eye. In fact, if anything, it's probably a better chance to kill it, because it's a clear path to the brain through the eye socket. Okay, this direction. Oh my god, I'm so disoriented now. I have no idea where we are, and it's not good because I'm fucking injured. If anybody spots, like, something... Okay, I think the last time I found honey, it was up in a tree, and I had to shoot it down with the bow and arrow. I don't think I would find honey in the pine trees out on the mountains, though. That seems... Okay, we're just for lack of anywhere to go, we're going to keep trying to find Old Town. All right, we're going to go down this way. I also don't know if you can take fall damage in this game. God, that sure fucking was a bear. I'm like, So, this game, less chill when there are bears in the area. Okay, we're continuing, like, northwest here. On the plus side, apparently being wounded has not impacted my speed at all, which I'm not complaining about. Okay, yeah, we're just straight up hiking the mountains at this point. I'm really hoping the next piece of lore is going to take us to actual Uptown, because I'm really hoping I can take shelter there and maybe find something to dress these wounds with. Or maybe, if I'm really lucky, the wound might heal on its own without festering, but, oh, were those poison mushrooms? I don't know. Okay. Sometimes the mushrooms look red, and I think poison ones do exist in this game. No, I want tab, Old Town, this way. I am really glad I cooked so much fish before all that happened. God, the bear was ignoring me too. I couldn't just leave well enough alone. Oh, there's tinder. Hang on. Sometimes the only way you can see if you're on top of something is because you get the little indicator in the bottom right corner. Okay, we're going down this way. Oop, tinder, tinder, tinder. Fire is good. I wonder if I'd thrown a fire down. I feel like that probably. I feel like as soon as a bear has sighted you, you're fucked, and that you just need to stay out of the way. I don't want to be in a situation where I am forced to test that theory. Oh my god, this is so much hiking through the mountains. How far away is this piece? I feel like the bear dragged my body somewhere, and like I'm not where I used to be. I'm pretty sure I was not up in the mountains like this. Yeah, also if you're on a slope that gets really steep, sometimes you'll start to slip, so you have to be careful. Oh, and I'm tired too. Okay, as soon as I get around this slope, I think we're going to rest again. Oh, good. Okay, this looks like an area that's going to have food. You know, I think I was taken back to where I started the game. This looks familiar. Okay, we're going to get down off the slope and then we're going to rest. We're going to keep an eye out, because if it's daytime, I'll have a better chance of seeing if there's honey. This seems like a good place to rest. Let's do that. And thee, my soul, joys, ceaseless exercises, exaltations, thy yearning amply fed at last, prepared to meet thy mates, Eidolons. Okay, feeling pretty hungry. Luckily, we have plenty of cooked fish. Not so many mushrooms. Oh, did I go through two? Oof. Okay, yeah, I'm going to need to collect as much food as possible. All right, Old Town. This away. Okay. More likely to find... I still don't think I'm going to find honey in the pines, but the lower deciduous trees, I might be lucky enough. Whew. All that for a piece of lore. Sometimes the low poly makes the plant life in this game look very interesting. Oh, I think we have found Old Town. Holy shit. That was sooner than I expected. Please tell me you guys have some fucking supplies. Oh, these houses look very empty. Honey? Honey? No honey. Lore? Lore? No lore? Oh, they weren't kidding. This is a pretty big settlement, it looks like. There's a lot of houses here. Holy shit. Is that the church? Are you food? Or are you flowers? I think you're flowers. God damn it. Yeah, those rotos? Yeah, I can't eat you. Fuck off. You're not food. Fuck off. Okay, this must be the church. Look at this. Oh yeah, didn't that one guy say it was a barn converted into a church? There's music. Can you guys hear that? There's church organ music. That's a nice little touch. Whoa. That's creepy as fuck. We're getting out of here. Oh, no, that wasn't from the church. That was just like the background music that's triggered because we're in Old Town, I guess. I thought it was environmental. Look at all these houses. I don't think there's any way of figuring out which one was Joss and Ada's. Oh, these look like blackberry bushes. Hang on. And the houses out here are more overgrown. Wow. This was almost a city. Blackberries. Yes, thank you. Give me all the fucking black. See, this is what most of the map was like. Like, you see how many fucking blackberries are around here? I can't even get through the bushes. Vast majority of the game has been this. It's just surviving off of blackberries, which, good thing nutritional deficiency isn't a thing in this game because I'm pretty sure it would have been a problem. I'm sorry, I'm just harvesting so many blackberries, and then we're going to pinpoint that piece of lore because I know it's around here somewhere. Blackberries, blackberries, blackberries. Oh, how I missed you. Oh, right, honey. Because I'm still wounded. No honey yet. Okay. I would think with more flowers around, I'd be in an area that's more likely to have honey, but I really should not have eaten that. I feel so bad. Okay. So, where is our piece of lore specifically? This way. Yeah, like, look at how spread out this is. Those buildings go on for ages. And they're very overgrown by now. So nobody's been here in a good while. Mushrooms. Alright, we gotta be getting close. It's actually outside the settlement, which I was not expecting. At least we know where we are, too, on the map. So if we're in Old Town, we're here. And we don't even know what's off to the east. If this is also Old Town, then actually what's off to the east is lakes and mountains. Oh, that's probably the Rocky Mountain Range. Actually, yeah, if we came down from the mountains... Okay, so if we go east, we probably can't go anywhere, to be perfectly honest, because we do not... trying to scale mountains just freezes you to death, so we do not have the gear for mountain climbing, which makes sense. So I think we're meant to continue to explore this area. Oh, thank goodness, so many mushrooms. Gotta go west. West and south. West and south. Where's this piece of lore? Why is it so far outside the city? Or town, whatever. I really hope this wound doesn't fester. Actually, is it going to say in my Lux if it is? I need honey. Oh, we're still going in the right direction. I feel like also this game is pretty good at offering sound cues, so I think if I come across a beehive, I'm hoping I'll hear it. None of these trees are going to have honey. If I die from this wound, I'm going to be so mad. This way. Oh. Okay, I think that's a deer and not another fucking bear. I'm paranoid now. I see movement in the background. I'm like, Not seeing anything resembling beehives. Yeah, that's a deer. Okay. I am so paranoid now. I'm going to be paranoid every time I play this game. Makes sense, though. Like, I live in the Pacific Northwest. You do not fuck with bears, or cougars, for that matter. Cougars are actually, and wolves. We don't get a lot of wolves in my particular part of the province, but they do come out here occasionally. Cougars are tend to be sighted the most in the city. They keep making their way in, and animal control has to keep taking them back out. Okay, okay, so that's the electrical poles. So we are currently somewhere here. Possibly along that. Okay. Where's our lore, though? How far away is this frickin' piece of lore? And can I get some honey on the way? Okay, I think the wound is making me get tired sooner because normally I would still be, I would still have the alertness status right now, and I do not. It wore off pretty early. Which is just like all the more reason to find honey if I can, but I honestly don't know. If I ever had to survive like this in the real world, it'd be absolutely fucked. I have no idea how to tell which mushrooms are poisonous. I know which berries, for the most part, can and can't be eaten, but mushrooms are just like, nope. Okay, and there's the lake. Where the heck is this lore? Oh, don't make me swim the lake. I'm not swimming the lake. I will skim the lake if I have to. Okay, I came across this area. Is it on the lake? I saw a shiny flash out there. I can't swim that far. Are you kidding? Hang on, where's my binoculars? I swear I saw a sparkle out in the water. Oop, nope, cold, out of the water. That's another thing. Shorelines are like, it looks like the water is there, but if I took one step forward, I would be in the water. Is it on the lake? How? I'm going to skirt around it and see if I can get it that way. Yeah. Oh, hey, Tracy, welcome in. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I don't... Even if I didn't have a wound, swimming the lake is a bad idea, because if I get too cold, that will also kill me for sure. I mean, I do have a lot of tinder now, so I can warm myself back up with the fire, but if it's in the middle of the lake, it's a matter of like getting out there and back. So if it is actually in the lake, we might have to give up on this piece of lore for now. But I'm going to try going around it first. Actually, you know what? No, I'm tired and the sun is going down. So first I'm actually going to rest. The ostent evanescent, the substance of an artist's mood or savant studies long, or warriors, martyrs, heroes' toils, to fashion his Eidolon. Feeling pretty hungry. Well, thankfully, we have cooked fish. Oh, it's still nighttime. All right. So, oh, it's foggy and it's nighttime and it's hard to see the edge of the lake. This is going to be tricky. At least we're moving faster. Don't stumble into the water in the middle of the night. Actually, yeah, that's okay. That's in the water, so I want to go a little further this way. I can hear it to my left. I think it's safe to swerve now. I really can't tell where that water line is. I'm going to find out when I set foot and my leg is suddenly soaked in freezing water. And it started raining. Looks like there's some ruins out here too. But we want to go... Oops, nope. Old Town. Okay, so skirting around the lake seems to have been the right idea. So it wasn't in the lake, it just was taking the path of least resistance. There's some kind of ruins out here. Oh, I came through here before, I think, on my other playthrough. Okay, I think I know where I am. That's helpful. We're going to be near water for the next bit too, which is also good because it means plenty of options for fish. Do any of these bushes have honey? Where are you fucking bees hiding? Water. Water, water, water. At least if you just like step your foot in water, it doesn't give you the cold for very long. Is this blueberry? I also know blueberry bushes are around here somewhere, but I actually don't know what they look like because I've managed to pick them up without actually figuring out what they were attached to. All right, which direction? No, we're still going this way. Okay. Whew, this is a bit of a hike. It is convenient that you can just walk through the thorn bushes without any problem, apparently. Definitely not true to real life, I'll tell you that much. Oop! I look away from the screen for 1 second and I walk into a goddamn tree. Okay, so we're going more north for this one. Let's keep ourselves oriented. Slightly more this way. I did not expect the piece of lore about Old Town to be so far outside Old Town. This is probably also on Ada and Joss's. I guess Old Town itself, like we found that one piece of Sermon's note, but I guess like the people there didn't leave much in the way of recordings and we're mostly just finding Ada's letters. Joss doesn't appear to have written anything at all. The fuck was that? Oh wait, I think that was my stuff going bad. Yeah, it was. Okay. Rotten mushrooms. Let's eat some blackberries. Let's eat some more mushrooms. Nope, not hungry enough. All right. It's important to eat your food before it goes bad. Need some good hiking songs. Okay, yeah, we're following the path of the electrical... Are they just called electrical towers? I feel like these things have a specific name and I just don't know what it is. Oh, slightly off course. I think if I do another stream after this, we're going to focus of Eidolon after this one. I'd focus on getting lore about the beacons, because it feels like there's a lot untold there about how they work and where they came from. At least there haven't been any more bears, which I'm happy to report. Yeah, this wound is definitely wearing down my alertness a lot faster. You know, I'm just going to take a rest, because the faster I can walk, the faster we're going to get to where we're going. Put in thy chance, said he, no more the puzzling hour nor day, nor segments parts put in. Put first before the rest as light for all, an entrance song of all, that of Eidolon's. I actually don't know where that text is coming from. I don't know if they wrote it for the game or if they pulled it from a source somewhere. I would be interested to find out if anybody happens to know. Old Town. This way. Mushroom. Mushrooms. Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. Boy, I hope we come across it soon. This has been a hike for one piece of... Are you a deer? That's a deer. Okay. Do I want to try to hunt the deer? Oh, it's coming my way anyhow. I don't think my arrow has that much... Nope. Good thing it apparently doesn't startle easily. Oh my god, I can't aim for shit. Got it! Oh my god. Do deer make that noise when they die? Sorry, buddy. I really need to keep my stores up. Okay, we're going to get some tinder. And we're going to cook the meat. There we go. Only one piece of meat from a whole ass deer? Man, I'm not being very efficient. And now I'm disoriented again. Hang on. Old Town. This way. This seems more likely to have honey. I better keep an eye on the treetops. Oh, or not. Keeping an eye on the treetops is making my frame rate go nuts. Are we still... Oh, wait. Compass. We're just continuously going northwest. This is, Is it going to take us all the way back to Bellevue? If so, I'm slightly annoyed, because I probably could have found that earlier. It's a nice little area. Probably be neat in the fall with all the leaves change color. The hunter. The successful hunter. I'm about as bad as aiming an arrow in this game as I am in real life. We gotta be close, right? How far away can this thing be? And I have to keep checking because, like, the sparkly indicator does not tell you how close you are. So if you pass it, the only way you know is because suddenly the indicator is going the other way. Still nothing for honey. Holy shit. Give me them bees. Berries, berries, tinder, mushrooms. This place got plenty of food. That's good. Mushrooms. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee. Ooh, what's this? Got a grove of something over here. Are these blueberry bushes? Do you give me blueberries? You do not. What the fuck? Is that just a noise of me walking through them? Nope. I think it was a bird. What is that noise? It sounds like a bird's going off to, like, my right. But I don't see any birds? I'm so confused. Am I still going the right direction, even? No, it's over this way now. I got turned around. Looks like we're on another mountainside. No, we're still going northwest. It just wants us to keep going straight in that direction. Okay, that noise was the food going rotten. Wouldn't it be nice if food, like, made an audible noise when it was going to go bad? Just hear, like, a fart from the refrigerator. Ah, milk's gone off. Beats pouring chunky milk into your cereal and finding out that way. I can tell you that. There we go. It is. It is a very cozy game when you're not getting mauled by bears. I would sometimes just sit and just play this for a couple hours straight, just so you need something chill in the background. Oh, thank you. I do try to be a cozy stream. I keep meaning to add the cozy tag to my streams and forgetting. I'm also somewhat forced to be cozy because my roommates are asleep by this point, and I'm trying to keep it down a little bit. As soon as we find this next bit of lore, I think I will take a quick break to make some tea, and then we'll play a little bit of Road Not Taken and yeet some children, because that's apparently what the game is entirely about. And then if I'm still got enough energy, I might do a little bit of transistor. Oh, what kind of tea? I have quite a selection, but lately I've been drinking a lot of genmaicha, which is Japanese green tea with roasted rice. And it just really satisfies my savory tooth. So, yeah, I've been drinking a lot of that. I mean, a little teapot my sister painted. How far away is this piece of lore? Yeah, I really like genmaicha. I used to drink it a lot whenever we went out for Chinese food or sushi or anything like that. Most of the places around here serve it. So the taste has always reminded me of just going out to dinner with my family. Eat children. Yeet. Yeet the children with a Y. Which also possibly reporting to child services, but in the game it's for their own good. Including apparently yeeting them into fire, which we'll get to that. Beyond thy lectures, learned professor, beyond thy telescope or spectroscope, observer keen, beyond all mathematics, beyond the doctor's surgery, anatomy, beyond the chemist with his chemistry, the entity of entities, Eidolon. Oh, right, food. Gotta remember to eat. Not good at doing that in games or the real world. Gosh, these mushrooms go bad so fast. Are we still? Yeah, okay. One advantage with having the compass, which I did not have before I had the compass, is finding your way in the fog like this is much like there are some mornings in this game you wake up and you literally can barely see 2 feet in front of your face. So the sparkly shinies and the compass help quite a bit with that. Eat all the children. I'd rather eat the rich. More fat, more benefits. Leaves a bit of a taste in your mouth, but gotta eat the food before it goes bad, right? Little round bushes. Do you have honey? Do you have bees? You do not. Where in God's name do you find honey in this game? I clearly found it before, but I didn't stream that, so I don't have a recording of it. So I'm just like cursing my past. Oh, wow, I got turned around. Oh, no, I was going. Okay, it's moved now, so we are going more east. West? West. We're going more west. God, why do compasses have to be so confusing? Just hanging out now. Oh, is this the road? We found the highway. And some funky music to go with it. I'm pretty sure this is the highway. So now we are... Come here. Now we're somewhere along here. So we're most of the way... Okay, cool. So I think it is taking us to Bellevue. I think there was a piece of lore up there that I missed, and it's just making me trek all the... Wait, what? Oh, there it is. It's just making me trek all the goddamn way back. There it is. Oh, it isn't all the way to Bellevue. That's slightly reassuring, but also... All right. Boom. Year of our Lord, 188. So this is after. So 188. She went back. She ran into Basel in 187. So this is after that. This must have been the greatest city of them all. Incredible godlike structures and a crumbling outer wall. As dead as the rest, though, at a level of decay that matches the first city we passed through on our journey. But we cannot stop for long now like we did then. We have a whole host of mouths to feed this time. So this is after they left Old Town. So this is after the revolution when they freed Ada and Joss from captivity, and now they and the members of Old Town who decided to leave are now on their exodus. Most of the hunters joined us, and a near equal number of tenders, though only a few of the learned. To the hunters, and to Lauren in particular, who seemingly led the uprising, we must be ever grateful, for we owe them our lives. But what could the elders do to stop the best trained and best armed in all our folk from up and leaving, and from taking us with them? Without the hunt, Old Town may suffer. My hope is that with their reduced numbers, tending alone can sustain them. It's said that in the beginning there was no hunt, but only tending, though whether any such thing is to be trusted, I do not know. The others look on Joss and I as gods and follow our every whim. They are much accustomed still to having a father to follow, it seems. I'd forgotten what it was like to be in that place. We must protect them until they can find their confidence. The hunters feared pass through the great city. Walk not in the shadows of the Leviathans, they say. And I think this may be a better option regardless. This road is near as grand as the one we followed north to here, and it's poised to send us through the great white mountains. It is my belief that if we may find a way past this white, perhaps a whole great world may open itself to us. One day, if we keep to the roads, we may find a city yet alive, and may speak to the folk there and learn the truth of the world. So they're trying to find one of the cities that are... I think that was all of it. See, now when I'm clicking on Old Town, I'm not getting the sparkle. It's just taking me to other entries about Old Town. So that was it. That was the last piece of lore about Old Town. How many pages are there? Oh, look at how much lore is in this game, guys. Look at how many pages there are for lore. There are over 70 pages for lore in this game. All right, so we found the last piece of Old Town. That seems like a good place to leave here. And then later, if I stream this again, which I probably will, we can follow the sparkles for the beacons. Dang. Oh man, quite a saga for Old Town though. Holy shit. So it autosaves, so I don't have to do that. So we're going to do that.